Gamers, welcome back. Banished Souls here. This is your Captain Cryptic Gaming. Hope you've been having a wonderful week so far. Work started up. I believe the weekend was very eventful for most people in the game. We have that new update coming in tonight. It's going to bring the Rogue Man Godin. One of the things I think is really cool is we've had quite a few requests on a solo bark build. What do I use on my solo bark? Well, I'll be honest with you. I typically use the Sambuck, but I do have a bark set up and I have used it solo. So I think they're looking for something ship to ship. We're going to go over a couple build patterns and things that I prefer on my ship. So obviously we have our bark here. Let's go into our manage section so you can see what we have. So when it comes to weapons, if I'm doing ship to ship, I will usually use a flooding demi on the bow, and then I'll put them Zama 3s on the sides, followed by a fire bombard on the 3. Now I use that for just any kind of ship battle stuff. Worked great for that. Now, if you're looking for something with a little bit more range to it, you could use a twin winch ballista or even the Great Spring all 3 on that bow, which are great options as well if you can hit those long distance targets. And then when it comes to your mortar, so when I'm in team play, that's what I run. But I put a repair mortar on, but if it's just me, I'll usually put a Leopold 3 on. Or I'll put on one of those rocket launchers. That's a 3, but I don't usually mess with rockets too much unless I'm taking forts. If you're looking for a solo fort build, obviously you want Termites 3 here. This rear, you're going to switch that over to a Mons Meg 3. I would recommend at least moving the starboard side to a Mons Meg 3. Then on the right hand side, I usually will use a Zama 3. And then on the front, again, a Zama or a flooding demi. I like demi cannons. They work great for up close and personal. If you're taking those forts out, you want to keep your ship moving. I usually travel in a counterclockwise position. That's why I mentioned that, put it on starboard or whatever. You can set it on whichever side of the ship you want. Understand you're going to be fighting off one side for the ships coming in. You're going to be sticking fairly close to the boundary of the fort as well, where you're going to be able to hit that fort. So that's another great option. Sounds like we have a Man Godin challenge going on. I hear it in the background. Now, of course, armor. So I used to run the Ouroboros on here, which worked great, but something else I've started running for solo, just to get that extra pump, is I do put black prints on it on occasion, but I usually run the Ouroboros with the water tank. It's just great for bracing. But I've been kind of playing around, so here's what I've been using recently is a black prints armor. And then on the furniture, I run the scrapper station before window ships come up, because these demi cannons, they do such a great job, man, of increasing the crew attacks, which is going to give you that 8,000 whole health, which that health that you receive is going to receive a big boost also because it is a healing ship, but it actually seems to work out better that way than using the Ouroboros with a water tank. So that's why I've switched to the scrapper station on this ship. The double planked hull, another great option. I run it on here. Don't really need it, but it's there if I need it, because remember, you're running solo. Demi cannon furnace, which is going to increase the maximum range of demi cannons by 10%. Of course, our potent schematics. That way, whenever we come into those situations where you're running across the plague ships or even a PvP scenario, and then we use that demi cannon works on there. It's going to increase elemental damage multipliers of demi cannons by 19%. So that's the flooding and also the blaze. And let me tell you, when you start combining those two damages, it doesn't take long for a ship to fail. So that is my bark build that I run when I do run a bark. Like I say, typically I'm running the Sambuck. I love the DPS on it. We did do that new build for the Brigantine. If you haven't seen that, you definitely want to get in there and check out our Doomsday build sheet, man. We used it in PvP last night, and let me tell you, it was a beast of a Brigantine the way that is set up. So I hope you've been having a wonderful day, folks. We're going to see everybody after that reset tonight and farm out some of the new content. We're going to be looking to see what all is being released in the patch. We've posted a video earlier with some of the stuff we've been able to piece together through all of Ubisoft's accounts, social media stuff. They're not really releasing a big list of notes yet. I expect that should probably drop sometime around the reset. They had been dropping about 6 hours before reset in the past with some hints here and there, but they've been kind of tight-lipped on it. So I'm hoping that means we're going to be coming into some major hauls. I know they're going to be Moving to open welling on off, they're going to be replacing a lot of those world events with new world events, so that's going to be great as well. We're getting to Road Mangoden, so it's basically like the Mangoden, just bigger, and it's supposed to be red. So I'm hoping that means new cosmetic pieces as well, because I would love to have a set of those glowing red sails. If that's what we're going to end up with, that would be cool. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what they have in store for us. The main thing for you on consoles, especially the Xbox S, but you probably have seen it even on PS5, just from some of the guys we play with. While you're playing, you go to move to another island, fast travel, something that kicks you all the way out to the home page of your console. They're getting that fixed tonight. So it seemed like it was getting pretty bad the past week. So I don't know what happened in that 1.3, but they're going to get that fixed, so that's going to be awesome. So that's going to take care of that. And even then, though, it wasn't like it was doing it constantly. Just once in a while, you would run into situations like that. So I think it's going to be a really good patch what they're getting. And then it sounds like they're doing some privacy stuff with the chat. I don't know exactly what that's going to consist of yet. My guess is it's probably something for streamers, would be my guess. So it can, you have to say that your voice can be used in stream. I was kind of surprised that wasn't in there. Kind of an affirmative thing, so that helps streamers out. If people are going to be in chat, that they have to click that to even have their voice picked up by the stream services. So I'm expecting something like that in here, but like I said, we're going to have to wait and break it down to see what's in there. When it comes to ship cosmetics, that's going to change what you want. So I kind of use the darker colors. Everyone has their own preference on that stuff. But here's what I'm currently using. I'm using the Midnight Currents. I like the dark cells, the pattern. Of course, we're using the Sunken Sailor. It's a long dark set. And then, of course, we have our emblem, which is called From the Abyss. I think it looks work well together because I do run the cosmetics from the past with all the tentacles and stuff on this ship. I think it looks really cool and just kind of really helps. Then, of course, on our helm, we have our Cold Comfort mermaid that's constantly giving that Mangoden sound. Then we have our hull, which is currently running, oh come on now, where you at? There we go. The Hadal Green is the long dark set as well. And then for our little cosmetics on the side, we're using the Elder Vein, which is the long dark set. In case you're noticing that there's kind of a theme here, this stuff you have to open up in the past, folks. It's the only place you can get it. You're not going to be able to buy it. You have to work your way through that pass. But I hope you've gotten what you needed out of Zamaharabu, because it sounds like he will actually be setting sail. I actually like this. This is something I opened up last night. This was in the cosmetic pieces, and it seemed like it was for gold. I think it was 500 gold is what that ended up costing. I don't really recall, but it seemed like it's 500 gold. So that's over in the store. You can find that. And you should have earned around 1,500 gold running the pass. So like I said, I don't put much money into pass works and stuff. It's one of those things, I earn what I can. Now, if there's a weapon or something, then yeah, you can guarantee I'm going to be upgrading. But as of right now, most of the stuff in the pass are going to be cosmetics that you would get on that premium. So then, of course, your crew, you can set them up to look however you want. I started using the Children of Dagon. Then, of course, your pet used to be called a quartermaster. Back in some of those closed betas, these were quartermasters that you would pick. And each one had their own little specs that would increase certain aspects of your ship or your gameplay. What I'm expecting is the unannounced villain in Season 4. Okay, they haven't announced who it's going to be. My guess is it's your current quartermaster, the lady, is probably going to mutiny, take and set up, and that's when that's going to break that off into where these should actually maybe start giving some stats. Don't know that for sure. Just kind of where it's kind of looking to me, You can run whatever you want to on this, so we run that Lambit Deep on here. That's part of the long dark set as well. I said you was going to see a theme real quick on this, so. Of course, we have long dark set of Dagon's Reach. We're going to equip that. Apparently, I didn't have all of that on. And then, of course, our fireworks. There's all kinds of really great things. I used to use that quite a bit. Used to use this quite a bit. But now I've kind of got to where I like to use the Last Laugh, which is great because we do PvP a lot. And that's one of the things about this ship is it's going to do great in PvP, and it's going to do great in the PvE area. So we'll take a little sail here and just kind of show you what it's got in PvE, because that was the question, is how to solo the PvE aspect of the games. Now this is set up for ship-to-ship battle. We do not have it set up to go take the forts. All you have to do is, like I said, switch out on the rear, put a Mons on there, put a Mons on that right hand side, keep, or your left hand side, whichever direction you're going to sail. I usually travel in a counterclockwise position. It seems to throw off the timing of those mortars. Everyone has their own personal preferences of that. But one side of the ship will have Mons, basically is what you're looking at. Then of course your lead, and then the outer side of your ship, you want to have it where you can do ship-to-ship combat. If you start getting in there and changing directions around a lot, it will always send the ship when it's the wrong side. You're not going to do as much damage to the ship using the Mons Meg 3 unless you're hitting the weak points, which can be difficult if you're in a storm situation, which happens at times. So I was in here playing with some guys earlier. I'm pretty sure I've got a healing mortar on here. We didn't change that over just now. We'll double check. Yeah, it's a healing mortar. So we're going to have to get close. Like I say, you can put those Scarlock 9s on the front if you want to and stuff like that. Me personally, I like to use the shorter range cannons. I get right up in there. I do a lot of boarding because it ends battles quicker. Understand, if you're taking forever to destroy a ship, which you won't with this setup, if you hit them. You want to be able to board them fast. Okay, so we're coming back around. It's one of those sharpshooters, man. You got to anticipate that shot when they put them out. So you can see we did some weak spot damage, which does just massive damage on these ships. Then of course we're going to clear off the deck, and if it gives us another chance to board here, we will definitely take it. Because like I say, the quicker you end the battle with a ship, the sooner you can move on to the next ship. And it seems to me that the bigger the ships are, we have, I'm not sure if this is the player. Nope. I'm not entirely sure what type of ship that was, to be perfectly honest with you. I've never seen the gray sails like that. Maybe that's something new that's going to be coming in. But I've noticed that the larger the ship, the easier it is to hit those weak points. Even though they look the same size, that's not always the case with those little bitty ships. And these guys actually sink down quite a bit quicker. That's where that sniper type shots come in. Your ballistas and your long 9s and stuff like that. But I'll take this and I'll call in contracts and just farm. I use it to farm out the plague ships at times as well. Or I use the sandbuck as well. There's just so many great options out there when it comes to a good build ship. This is going to build where it's going to heal that permanent damage on your ship. When we do that crew attack, it's going to do an 8,000 heal to the hull, but it's also going to get a boost because you are in the bark, which is a healer, and it's going to boost all of those healing effects that you receive and give. So this here looks like just typical rogue. It might have been what it was earlier. It just looked kind of different with the sun the way it was hitting. And as you can see, if you're running half mast, you can just about turn this thing on a dime and avoid those torpedoes. Does not take long. But I hope this video has given you some ideas, and we will see you tonight at the reset.